Hey, what's up guys, Ausf here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a little video I made on the VK45.02B. This is a guide to help all of you who love this tank and want to use this tank to get the mouse, how to use this tank, when to use this tank, why you want to use this tank. So if you like this tank, then please listen up. Alright, so I am in the upgrades right now, and as you guys can see, it leads to the mouse. This tank has some very strong armor on it. It has a very strong turret. It has a very good gun. It has 74% protection, 54% firepower, and 80% shot effectiveness, and 14% maneuverability. Now, of course, this is without the upgraded engine or the upgrade tracks, but it has 1,820 hit points, 170 millimeters of frontal armor, 100 millimeters to the sides and rear. If we look at the turret armor, which is really nice, it has 252 millimeters of frontal armor and 160 at the sides and rear. So if we look at the weight on this thing, 79.19 tons, pretty good. And the engine power is 670 horsepower. Not the best, but you can upgrade that. It is 30 kilometers an hour speed limit, 17 degrees per second, and 16 degrees per second for turret traverse speed. 345 to 575 damage. It penetrates up 370 millimeters. It has 4.14 rate of fire. The aiming time is 2.9 seconds. Dispersion is 0.38. View range 250. It's such a fantastic tank. It really is. The average damage is 460. So the average damage for a high explosive is 600. I love this tank. Aiming time is only 2.9 seconds, which is pretty good as well. Very good tank. That's what I will say. It's very good, very fun, very everything. So when you take a look at the tech tree, you can see that you have to get to this tank by going from the LTR to the PZ35T, the PZ38T, the PZ38NA, the PZ4, the VK30.01P, the Tiger P, the VK45.02A, and then VK45.02B, and then after that it leads to the mighty mouse. Look at that thing. It's huge, it's gigantic, it has 100% armor. This is the toughest tank to beat in World of Tanks. It is the best tank in World of Tanks, and is arguably the most heavily armored tank ever in World of Tanks Blitz. So if we take a look in Armor Inspector on this VK45.02B, you can see that with armor piercing, you can easily pierce the sides of this tank. With this gun, of course. But I love this tank, guys, and I absolutely, it's great. The armor, even though some people say it needs to be buffed, I don't think it needs to be buffed that much. Yeah, I think it's fine the way it is. 170 millimeters frontal armor is pretty good, and it's around 200 millimeters of effective armor. And this thing can, I don't even know to say anything bad about this tank. It's just great. So if you're using this 12.8 centimeter gun, you can get through the front of this tank pretty darn easily. And you can't hit the cheeks of this tank. It'll just ricochet off. The front of the turret, very hard to get through. I would not shoot there. But definitely shoot the front plate if you have enough penetration. And the lower plate isn't that much better than the front plate, guys. So you want to get around this tank and shoot it in the sides, because those are the weakest point of this tank. Definitely the weakest point of this tank is the sides. Is 100 millimeters thick. But if you angle this armor correctly, just like this, then you can easily ricochet shots off of even the most powerful tanks in the game. It's very slight, but it'll work, and you will bounce more shots. It's way thicker when you angle it that way, which is why it's so much better. It's fantastic. But again, the machine gun port is a weak point if you can't penetrate the front of this thing. So definitely shoot there. And that view finder right there is also a weak point, so shoot there as well. The top of this tank is pretty weak, so if you have enough accuracy, shoot for the top of it, right where that little slope is, and you'll hit it. And if we look into the collision model on this thing, you can see that the top of this is only 40 millimeters thick. Yeah, somebody's gonna high explosive you. That little turret part right there is 160 millimeters thick, and then that's an observation device. Then it's 60 millimeters thick right here, and it is 170 at the front. And let's see what else. It is it's 100 at the sides, as you guys can see from that, and it is those little things right there. The lower plate's only 150 millimeters thick, but it's actually pretty nice. And then the turret is 160 millimeters on the sides, and that little square is 100 millimeters, so shoot that for sure. And around that is 160 millimeters again. That lower part right there is 100 millimeters thick. The sides again 100 millimeters. And the tracks, well, they add 25 millimeters, so definitely use them. The bottom of this tank is only 50 millimeters thick, so I definitely, watch out. And then that little part right there, yeah, it's a pretty nice little tank, guys. It certainly is. So if we take off the external modules and stuff, then yeah, you guys can see that it's 100 millimeters on those right there. It's still 50 millimeters right there. So if we go back to armor penetration model, I will show you guys some cool stuff that you can do in this tank. This tank is absolutely overpowered at side scraping. So if we switch to armor piercing composite rigid, or APCR, you see that you can easily go through the front of this tank very easily with this 12.8 centimeter gun. Lower plate, butter, but again, the sides of the cheeks, you cannot penetrate that, but you can actually penetrate the front of that turret, and then the sides, you can penetrate those easily. Turret, easily penetrated. Everything on it is easily penetrated with an APCR shell from this 12.8 centimeter. On the back, very easy to penetrate. Once again, I mean, if you're shooting the back of this tank, don't even use APCR. The other side, yep, same thing. The gun depression on this thing is actually pretty good. It can go to -6 in the front of the tank. But what's interesting is when you turn the turret, it'll actually go to -8, which is pretty cool if you ask me. So if you want to shoot something, then I would definitely, if you want to shoot something below you, go like that. Go to your side and just shoot them with that. But as soon as you turn your turret back that way, it just doesn't. It goes back to -6 degrees. So if you want to get in that kind of position, then go to -8 degrees and you will be fine. But if we take a look at the modules on this thing, you see that we can easily hit drivers, pretty much everything on this tank in 1 to 3 shots. Very, very tough. I almost never get modules damaged in this tank, and I don't know why. I've only had 40-something battles in it, but I've had a module damaged like 3 or 4 times, and that's it. I haven't had any other modules damaged. So, I mean, yeah, that part of it, you obviously, if you're carrying consumables, you want to carry, what I carry is a multi-purpose restoration pack, speed up, and adrenaline, but I usually switch out the adrenaline for just a repair pack thing, just to repair modules. So the adrenaline I would not do for you guys. I have a premium account right now, so it's very easy for me to make that up. But if we go to high explosive on this tank, the sides you do 150 damage. But if you look at the top of this tank, I mean, look, you can penetrate the top of this tank very easily, and you will do maximum damage. So I would not go down hills on this thing if there's a tank destroyer right beneath the hill. I wouldn't, not even to ram them. So again, very, very heavily armored, but the top of this, the top of this, they'll go through it like butter with the high explosive shell. So, let's go to Black Goldville, and let's see some gameplay in this awesome machine. So, here we are in Black Goldville, and we are going to wreak some havoc this game, guys. We're going to go to caves first, and we'll see what's going on there. And I will stop commentating here and there. So yeah, I will stop commentating here and there every once in a while. But, you know, for the most part, I will be here with you guys. So yeah, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to caves. So once we get up to caves, I mean, this tank isn't very fast. It's faster than a mouse, but still isn't the fastest tank in the world. We're gonna see what happens from there. So I will be quiet while you guys just decide to watch my tank drive up the hill. Alright, there we go. We spotted a T-20. T-20 is such a lightly armored tank, but then I see that the base is actually being capped. So I decided, since it was going up so fast, there'd be multiple tanks down there, and there's only one lonely T-20 up there, so I'm not going to deal with him. I'm going to go down to the base. I'm going to take care of these guys that are messing around down there with the base. So I'm going to have to get down there ASAP to stop that cap before it gets too high. That Comet, he tried, but he was taking down a few shots. Shout out to the T-20, sorry. Shout out to the T-20 for doing his best, but I'm sorry, man, that just did not happen. So I just bounced a shot from IS-3, said affirmative, you know, I'm glad I bounced it. This is where I accidentally messed up. I tried to take a shot, but it just barely almost hits him, but it didn't. So here I am. I got an IS-6, an IS-3. There's got to be more. Oh, there's a Tiger 1. I'm like being hounded right now. I decided not to take a clutch shot, but then I see this VK30.01A, my tier 8 little brother. So I decided to give him some of this 12.8 centimeter gun. I decided to give him another one, but I keep on moving back and forth and looking back at the IS-3 because I know he's gonna pop out of somewhere and just take a shot at me, and there he goes. He takes a shot at me, hits me right in the back of the turret, so I decided to back up while keeping my turret facing them and deal with this IS-3. So I keep backing up to make sure I don't get in the way of their guns, and I get myself situated where I can attack this IS-3 with ease. So here we go. I put a shell into him. He does not shoot me, luckily, and then he shoots at someone else. He did not shoot at me. So I decide I gotta take care of this IS-3, and I got to get down to base capture. If I don't take care of this IS-3, then he will shoot me in the turret once again. And I was very surprised when I did not get hit while I was going up that hill. But then I decided to reverse. I hit this IS-3 just before he puts a shot in me. Just before. That was clutch, guys. And someone else decides that they are going to reset the cap. Thank you very much, whoever that was. So then I go down this hill, I see the Tiger 1, I put a snapshot into him, kill him, and now I'm gonna go down. And now we still got a VK 45.02A who was just taken out by the IS-3. Thank you very much, IS-3. And all we have is this IS-6, this lonely IS-6, poor IS-6, who is definitely done for with all these tanks rushing at him. So I decided to load HE, but he's taken out before I can do anything. I say good game, as you always should at the end of every single game. That was a very, very good battle, guys. If we take a look at the stats, we got 1,233 experience. We did 2,389 damage and gross 22,000 credits. We did the second best damage on our team and got the second best experience. We killed 2 players. We shot 7 shots and penetrated 6 out of 6 direct hits. And we damaged the IS-3, the IS-6, the VK45.02A, and the Tiger 1. We did 442 damage to the IS-6. We did 931 damage to the VK45.02A and 283 damage to the Tiger 1. We grossed 22,000 credits. And for XP, we got 1,033 with my premium count, as I have already said. In awards, we got Mastery Badge, 3rd Class, and Defender. Mastery Bachelor class is awarded to a player who gets better experience than 50% of players who played in the last week, and Defender reduce the base capture points by at least 70, and you have to be the one who reduced most of them. Now we're going to go on to Castilla. Let's see how this goes. I'm not actually sure how this one heads out, but we're gonna go towards the central hill. No one really decided where we were going for. This is a tier 10 match, and I'm in a tier 9. Wow, I almost said American. Tier 9 German heavy tank that leads to the mouse. We have two E100s, FE21583, nicknamed the Death Star, and a Jaeger. Wow. This is going to be so much fun, I just know it. So, we're going to drive forth like a mighty superhero or whatever, and we're going to follow this E100. Not really. I'm going to go towards base while these guys decide to go that way. And this E100 just like stopped like nowhere. Like, why, dude? Why do you stop right there? That was like, there's no reason you did that. You just did it. Really, E100? Alright. So now we're going to go to the base. These guys, they aren't going base. But they will encounter some enemies. Well, I will only encounter 2. But I will say that this tank is a brawler. You can get it into the mix, and you can take care of a lot of tanks with this. As long as they're not tier 10. This tank does not do very well against tier 10 tanks. It really does not. It really takes a lot of damage from them. So we're gonna go towards base, and we're gonna wreak some havoc wherever these guys are gonna go. So I'm gonna try and like cap to lure these guys out into the base so I can take shots at them and do some damage. But somehow I am spotted, and I think it's because of that TD, or no, not the TD. I'm sorry, that T54 up on the hill. So I decided just to get in the base, have my gun aimed on him in case anything happens. But the FE2153 just ammo racks him, so there's no need to do that. And then this IS-8 comes out of nowhere. He completely misses his shot, so I decide to get over here and angle my armor so that he can't penetrate me. And he hits a chair, and that's his, what does that say? Cappuccino on it? There, in World of Tanks, do you really think any tankers are going to care about cappuccino? Apparently this guy didn't like cappuccinos because he just shot the cappuccino thing instead of me. I try to angle my armor there. I do successfully angle it, and he just, this guy, I don't know what he's doing. He's obviously not a very experienced player, but he does put one into me with the nade PCR shell. So I decided, you know what? Darn this guy, I'm going after him. So I just go after him, and I put a shot into him and leave him with 65 health. He puts a shot in me, but luckily the Leopard PTA takes him out. And that's basically the main stuff that happens right here. But there was some other stuff too. I saw that E100. I thought he was not AFK, but he's AFK. So I'm just going to farm a little bit of damage right here. To be exact, 470 damage. And they're going to take him out. I was hoping to get the last shot on him, but the FE215B 183 decides not to, as you can see there. So now I'm just going to back up and just stay in cap, because there's no way I'm going to get to those guys in time. I'm just way too slow. So we're just going to hope that my team can hold them off. And, well, that was basically the end of the game, guys. The VK4510-2B in Castilla against a Tier 9 heavy tank, Russia, the IS-8. Wow. Yeah, that was a pretty fast game, I must say myself. That was pretty fast. I will say that for some reason people like to be very rude on the chat in the games for no reason at all. They just do. So for that game, I mean, we did pretty well. pretty well. But I mean, like, not the best in the world. We only did 2,139 damage. But we did get a good amount of credits and a good amount of that. We did not do the most damage on the team at all. Nowhere close. We only fired 5 shots, and every single one of those hit and penetrated. We caused 2,139 damage, as I said. We only damaged an IS-8 E100, which is kind of sad. It really is, because we could have done so much more in that game if we had just gotten the right position. But we did. And we got 19,000 credits. Yeah, we only got a 3rd class mastery badge. So, let's go on to the next one. Here we are in Winter Melon. No, this is not. This is Dead Rail. I almost forgot that. We are in Dead Rail this time, and we are just gonna go to the base so we can take care of these guys. And let's see. There's a really good position in Dead Rail for any tank that has a rear turreted turret, or if you just basically if you're a heavy tank, this is the perfect position for you. So just watch where my tank goes. Alright, so now I'm not sure what this E75 was doing, but of course, look at this. I get caught in the train. Yeah, I just get caught in the train, so just keep on going. I see this E75, so I aim, I put a shot into him, I pull back behind this E75 so he can bounce a shot. He has better armor than I do, and I go forward to get into my position ASAP as fast as I can. So there we go, I bounce a shot off the IS-8. I get into my position, and these guys are not going to be able to penetrate me whatsoever. And people ask me what I did here, and what I did was I put my gun up to cover my cupola hatch, which really helped sometimes. I just kept doing it so that the IS-8 or the E75 could not get my cupola hatch. That is the reason I was doing that, guys. And once I reloaded, I just aimed back, but this guy got back behind an E75 wreck. So there's nothing I can do about him. So the IS-8 decides to go over and take care of him. When I see that, wait, any second now, I gotta wait. Yep, see, I bounced a shot off the right. I don't know what it was, so I just decide, hey, you know what? I'm gonna back up, get out of here, and I'm gonna go take care of whatever that was. But right now, I haven't gotten to that point yet, and I see this T-32 come out of nowhere. I put a shell into him for 539 damage, which wasn't enough to hold him off, so I just decided to rush this guy, and a bounce. He tried to aim at my cupola hatch, because he could not penetrate anything else. I don't know where that shot went. It literally went nowhere. And this guy's going to try and take a shot at me again and bounce. So I'm now almost reloaded, so I'm going to take care of this guy. I'm just going to get right here. This was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that because it is a rear-mounted turret, so it is very easy for other tanks just to shoot you. And so I'm just going to like lightly tap this guy like a love tap. And no, I bounce a shot off of him. He goes behind me. The E75 takes him out. Alright, so now all we have left is a T-54 and a T-25AT. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure that's what that tank is called. Yeah, it's a T-25AT. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's T-25AT. So with that tank, he did shoot me. I saw where the arrow was, so I decided, you know what, I'm going after him. I used my speed boost, and then this guy pops out of nowhere on my right, on my left, sorry, and I take a blind snapshot, and it hits him. With auto aim. Gotta love auto aim, people. And there we go. That's the end of the game. He tried to ram a T-28 prototype. Not a smart idea. Really like this tank, guys. Very powerful, very strong. And that is going to be that's gonna pretty much wrap up this video, guys. I've shown you guys how to use this tank, when to use this tank, and pretty much everything you need to know about this tank. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you guys saw how I side scrape in this tank, how I use this tank, how I win in this tank. You will lose some battles in this tank, guys, but you will not lose that many. It is a very powerful tank, and it leads a mouse. So, hey, get the mouse, right? And that's going to be it, guys. That's going to be it for this video. It's going to be it for this little gameplay session / guide to the VK45.02B. If you like this video, guys, please put a like. Please like this. It really helps the channel. Octopus Man out.